In this video, I want to talk with you about natural productivity cycles and how they can affect you. Now, the one thing that I see happening quite a lot is that people say, I don't feel very good today, I don't want to do this. And they often connect that to motivation. But no, I can tell you that often it is not motivation, it is your body that is just simply saying, no, I don't want to do this, no, I cannot do this. And what this is connected to are the so-called natural productivity cycles. There's not too much research on them, to be honest, but I want to show you what I think about them and why I believe that they are real. Now, let us look first of all at the idea of what a natural productivity cycle basically is. So we have two sine waves right here, and we one time got the physical state, so the state of our body, and then we got the mental state. Now these two curves are not on top of each other, they're a little bit apart from each other. So the tops are in different places, the downs are in different places, and in the end, at some point, for example, when we look at the basically the swing, the first swing or the second swing, it doesn't really matter which swing, of course, we're talking about, we see that the high point of the physical state is before the high point of the mental state. Now, what that basically means is when your mental state is like currently progressing and getting better, you're at the highest point in physical state. But then afterwards, you're going to be at your highest mental state, but your physical state is going to be not very good and it's declining. Now, how is this really affecting our life? Well, often we feel like we are tired, we cannot do this, or sometimes we feel like we're really strong, but our mind just simply doesn't need to work or doesn't seem to work properly. And I think we all have those days. And these cycles right here that science is proposing is basically a cycle or a set of cycles that works every single month. So these cycles represent a month in your life. So sometimes you're going to be at your lowest point at your physical state, and then you're also going to be at a low point at your mental state. Now, when both collide, there's going to be a point where really you're going to be down, you're going to be tired, your mind is going to be tired, your body's going to be tired, and you just want to relax. And that happens quite a lot. I have that and I have those days too. But of course, we didn't talk about the location of these cycles yet. So which kind of productivity level do we actually have in order to be measuring our output on that level? So for example, when you jump from a 10 meter like standpoint into the water, this is going to hit you really hard. But if you only jump from 1 meter standpoint, you're going to jump not very far and will not hit you very hard. Now, let us say that we just look at the people standing on like that kind of standpoint. Of course, when we just look at it, it seems like they're on the same level, but actually, of course, they're not. And the same thing also applies to these cycles right here. That we could say, for example, the one cycle, the two cycles that we have right here, could be on a level where people are super, super productive, like the level of super productive people, or this could be the productivity cycle of a total slob, someone who's not productive and someone who's just simply, sitting at home eating chips and sitting on the couch all day, like a simple, normal couch potato. And I think it is not a problem. Many people are like that. But in the end, when we talk about productivity, we want to find a point in time in our life where you can be as productive as possible. So these cycles basically say that sometimes you have your low points, sometimes you have your high points, but the physical state and the mental state cannot be at the same time at the top. So I see that happening quite a lot. Sometimes I feel like my body is really strong, but then my mind is a little bit weaker. And sometimes after feeling my mind is very strong, but my body is a little bit weaker. And the same thing is currently the case. My body feels like a little bit, not that strong, but my mind feels incredibly strong currently. So I see that happening quite a lot. I see that happening with entrepreneurs. I see that happening with everyday normal people who just simply need to take more rest in the times where their physical state and their mental state are down. And in the end, I just want to tell you that it's not a problem to relax. It's not a problem to rest. But we just have to figure out on which kind of productivity level we are right here. Because my cycle will be at a very, very high level. Of other people, the cycle will be at a very, very low level. So when it is at a very high level, I still get a lot of things done, even though, of course, my cycle sometimes says your mental state is not very good, your physical state is not very good. But most of the time, I actually can get an amazing thing done every single day. And for most other people, this cycle actually is more drastic and more kind of like a it really changes your kind of attitude towards the day kind of thing. Because when you are at a level where you're not super productive or not productive at all, and then you have even your down days, you're just going to be sleeping on your couch doing nothing. When I have my down days, I just have the feeling that I didn't get all the things done that I wanted to get done. And for example, yesterday was such a day, and I thought my mental state was good, but my physical state was not very good, and I couldn't go to the workout, and thought, oh gosh, I didn't get that done. That is a big problem. And again, here we talk not just about your physical and mental state, but we also talk about motivation. And let me repeat one thing here: motivation is a temporary thing. Motivation does not last forever. So you need to develop a habit which makes it possible for you, even on your mental and physical down days, that you are going to be active and that you can push through them. If you can push through them and don't take a rest and really get back to these days where you're super productive, you will get much more done in the long term. Because when we think about that in the term of a month, we're going to have a couple of days where we're going to be down, and we're going to have a couple of days where we're going to be below average, and we're just in the process of going down or in the process of going up in our cycles. Now, if we can use those days and still be productive, we're going to win so much. That's why this video was now about physical state and the mental state, and about these two kind of curves. So I hope you understood it. If you have any more questions, you can text me at any given time here on Udemy. And also, of course, I would really appreciate it if you could give this course a review. Thank you so much.